Welcome to Apocalypse Duds. I'm Connor Flower,
And I'm Matt Smith.
and today is a momentous occasion, truly. And really, I don't know, I'm not going to soak this in irony or whatever as I normally would. This is our 80th show,
Oh,
which is kind of a lot, weirdly, that we have been
Yeah,
doing this for so long
I
and
thought
haven't quit or been killed by the U.S. government.
I thought about it today, and I know it's August, but July was 3 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah. So
So
it's pretty cool. So we're happy to have here in the studio David Lochner, and we are excited to talk Briar Vintage and other sundry tangents, likely.
yeah, a couple. Hey guys, how's it going?
how are you, David? How's Philly today?
Um, I'm okay. Philly is not unbearably humid like it normally is.
Yeah,
Kind of
same.
nice,
So
yeah.
yeah, so other than that, it's Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
somebody's telling you to go fuck yourselves every 5 steps. It's fine.
I mean, that's part of the Philly charm, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you live through this humidity, it's the reason why we are the way we are.
Yeah,
You
totally,
know.
totally. Oh yeah, it's
So
it's like we've had one of the hottest summers I can remember lately.
yeah.
Not going to make the Simpsons joke. And it's been like pouring fucking rain every day, but the past 2 days it's been like in the 70s. Like I put on a flannel shirt last night and I felt great.
I'm
So
wearing a
Yeah.
chore jacket right now. It's awesome. I'm so happy about it. When we were walking around Longwood Gardens, it was like temperate. It was like kind of
Yeah.
gray. It was a very nice environment to look at plants
Yeah, I
in
love it there,
Pennsylvania.
man. Yeah,
You've been.
a few times. I love it there. It's a nice time. You
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
know.
I think it's so like Longwood Gardens is so like placid. It's unbelievable. It used to be one DuPont's garden,
Yeah,
and now it's like publicly accessible. It has multiple outdoor theaters.
yeah.
It's
As
like
as all land should be
right,
publicly accessible. But anyway,
right.
so
Well, it's like they don't, and at a lot of these places, they don't make that exactly a priority. Like
mm,
this arboretum in Baltimore is, it just used to be one person. One person lived there. And it's this huge tract of land. Obviously, there are tons of trees, but it's like a mansion, and they had a private rail.
oh
It
God.
went straight from their house to downtown Baltimore. And it's like, we don't talk about how fucking insane that is.
I think it's because you know the myth of American individualism and yada yada yada. But it's always, oh, he did great things and you're punishing success if you tax him, and not, oh, he exploited a whole bunch of motherfuckers and
She
didn't
was
pay
a
them what they
widower.
were owed. Oh,
She was a
great.
widower. Her husband just left all the money. So it's
Oh,
like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's amazing. I think that it's, of course, like we should move for all land to be accessible to everybody, right?
yeah,
But it's amazing the things that were once theirs that are now ours.
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm with you. I like the English, like, right to ramble,
oh
like where
Mhm.
they can just like walk through a giant country estates. I'm like, yeah, so you should do. Should be
yeah,
able to go
Yeah.
enjoy nature.
that
Like
sounds
that's
fucking amazing.
yeah. So I don't know, but we're never going to see that here ever.
Right, right. So to get started, David,
Mm.
are you born and raised Philly?
Just outside.
Okay,
I'm claimed Philly because I paid enough for the fucking taxes here. Um,
right.
but I am from the suburbs. Originally born in Abington Hospital, right outside the city limits. But I've lived in town and out of town on and off my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So, but I didn't go to a certain school and I didn't live in a certain neighborhood at a certain age. So Philadelphians will say, I'm not from Philly.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
I can
Of
see that.
course.
Yeah. So, it is what
I
it is.
mean,
But
but if you've been like if you've been somewhere,
If
like,
you've lived somewhere as an adult for like 5 years, I feel like it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I moved to Atlanta when I was like 18, you know, just
Yeah.
after high school, and like I I will say I'm from Atlanta because if I've been somewhere for fucking 20 years, like
Yeah.
or almost 20 years, like that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like, but
guess
I'll claim Philly when I'm traveling. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm from Philadelphia. But if I'm in the city and somebody asks me where I'm from, I'll just say, oh, yeah, I'm from like Willow Grove.
yeah,
You
right.
know, it's right outside the city. Because there's nothing worse than fighting with another Philadelphian over some bullshit semantic thing.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
It's true. As we've established earlier, Philly is it's a particular kind of place
yeah,
in the best way
definitely.
possible.
Yeah.
Uh, so what's a brief history of Briar Vintage? I know I've been following you for probably over a decade at this point. I think I want to say I found something of yours like maybe right before I left New York, like
Yeah,
Instagram or Etsy.
it probably Etsy and Facebook originally. We weren't.
Yeah,
I wasn't quick to adapt Instagram because
I think it was Etsy actually because
yeah.
I used to stalk Etsy for like random shit.
Oh, back when you could actually find shit on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was great.
back
I
when the
still
search engine
remember.
worked.
You know, but yeah. So we opened. Oh God, I want to say 2010
Okay, yeah,
or 11, something like that. Um, yeah. Anyway, I was working doing landscaping and delivering parts for Napa of all places.
okay.
Mhm.
Just because, it's a hustle and you
I
need to
drove for
hustle.
Interstate Batteries for
Yeah.
years, so
So it was a hustle and it was like, whatever, you need to make ends meet, you make them. So I was working there and I had been a customer of Amanda's who owns Saz Vintage. Um, since she opened, like I think I went the day after her grand opening and was just shopping with a buddy of mine. And so I used to go in there every Saturday. I would drag like my boy would drag me to his spot, and I would drag him to my spot, and we would
right.
because we're best friends, but like we're opposite in that like what our idea of fashion should be.
Gotcha.
Um,
Sure.
so I drag him in there, and then eventually I was like, 2008 came, everything shit the bed and I needed some work and she offered me some hours. So I was like, yeah, cool. So I started working for her and then like, a little bit in, she was like, hey, do you want to open a men's store? Because that's what Saz originally was like older and high end men's stuff. And I was like, no, I just lost a really good paying job.
Right, right.
but,
Wait,
I'm
what were you doing in 2008?
landscaping.
Oh, okay. Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
like that, as hard as work as it is, dude, like that's good money for
Yeah,
really rich people in the suburbs.
100%.
And so, but I was like, dude, I just lost a decent paying job. Like I'm not playing in this economy. She's like, well, how about you manage it? And I was like, yeah, bet I'll play with your money all day.
Hell yes.
So yeah, that's how it started. And just like a little 400 square foot shop. And back when you could go to like any flea and thrift store, like I mean, thrifting back then wasn't easy, but you could always turn up something slightly older, like 50s or 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Every
It was
single time.
different.
Yeah. And in Philadelphia, like actually most of the country that I'm aware of, like I knew about Bobby from Boston. Everybody knew about Bobby. Bobby
Right, right.
was that guy.
Yeah,
But there was nothing in Philadelphia that was like men centric.
right, right.
So we had started with that, and like I had always liked to dress. I didn't necessarily know what was what, but I knew like this worked with that, and this looked
Yeah.
okay, and
Sure.
and so I was like, well, it's old or new, I didn't care as long as it was well made and it was just like affordable
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
what vintage was supposed to be, like your way of being poor and being able to attain very nice, well-made things.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we did that, and we did the store for a couple of years. Then she brought me on as a partner, and we went through a couple different brick and mortar spots, and then eventually I was like, I can't fucking do this public shit anymore, like the public facing thing every day,
Right, right.
Mhm.
plus sourcing and all the other crap and promoting and everything else. And so we moved into a studio space and kind of like in the back of a warehouse and just started selling out of there and online, and like had some stuff in a brick and mortar with like her other shop's ads. Like we split the space.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and now it's like we're just strictly in a warehouse and it's easy,
yeah.
and I
It,
don't have to wear a suit anymore every day.
it's true. It's true. And your physical shop or space now, you
Mm.
share that with Bulk Vintage. Am I
Well,
correct?
yeah, Bulk owns the building. It's 3 floors. Each floor
Sick.
is like
Wow.
9,700 square feet because it's an old warehouse.
God damn.
Yeah, so it's fucking big.
Yeah.
So we're on the top floor. We share like Amanda still has remnants of Saz online.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
and it's mostly like men's disco stuff. Like there is some women's pieces, but it's a lot of 70s menswear. Because for a while, like every boomer was renewing their vows and dressing in 70s gear. And she made good money off of that. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. And plus, like here in Philly, Wharton had like a 70s party every year for a long time.
Oh, whoa.
So she did a lot of with them, just like selling college kids fucking 70s stuff so they
Yeah.
can get coked up and,
Right.
spend money on other bullshit.
Right. I feel like
But
70s is also always like, I mean, I've been into vintage clothes since I was like a child,
yeah,
early teenage years, and like it's always been one of those things like kind of like pearl snap shirts. It's a
yeah.
good introduction, and kind of
Hmm.
continues to be even to this day.
Yeah. I think these days you see a lot of more of it because like when I got into it, like 30s and 20s was hard to find.
Right.
And now it's like 70s is hard to thrift, you
Oh,
know?
totally. Totally.
Like, so, yeah, like kids are getting it. I see more and more kids like looking for bell bottoms, looking for like photo print or like the old like Joan Namath, like all over like the arrow collar
Oh
man
yeah,
shirt ad type
definitely.
Mhm.
deal. Like I see kids doing that, like a little bit more, like kind of like in between like that rocker and disco kind of
Yeah,
70s
totally,
vibe.
totally. Especially the
So
like more psychedelic looking stuff
yeah,
too, especially for women. Like all my
yeah,
friends,
oh definitely.
that sell like dresses and shit. I mean, it could be like the worst feeling polyester dress you've ever seen, and
Oh
someone
god.
is like over the moon for it.
Yep.
I can't do poly personally. Ugh.
Dude, I am not a fan of polyester, especially like the double knit suits that
Oh
came
God,
out.
Yeah, they're
Um,
yeah,
terrible.
the baby blue tuxedos or like
yeah,
the stupid beige with brown velveteen tuxedos, like, but it sells, man. And
yeah.
like
It does. It does.
if like if you style it right, like it still looks good. It's just
Yeah,
not my thing. I'd rather have anything I can just throw in the washer
yeah.
or dry clean once a year and that's it.
Right, right. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I personally wouldn't wear it, but I think if I think it's cool enough, I'll buy it to sell. Because I know
Yeah.
if I think it's cool, someone else eventually is going to think it's cool too.
Yep, definitely, 100%.
Yeah. Do you remember kind of what your first like? We have a question we've asked a lot, like what
Yeah.
the first clothing memory that you have, but like what was the first kind of things that really like caught your eye to get you into clothes?
Um, I mean, my first memory in clothing is me being forced into a suit for somebody's wedding so I could be like the ring
Right,
bearer.
right.
Um, Other than that, like my first thing that turned me on into like vintage and like really getting into that was watching Swing Kids.
Oh yeah,
Horrible, horrible movie. Um,
really? I mean,
oh,
it's
dude,
not amazing, but like it's
no.
also been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah,
So,
go watch it as an adult, and you'll be like, "Why is Christian Bale freaking out on people now? Because he's always been kind of an idiot." Like,
oh, true,
you
true,
know.
yeah,
But yeah, it's like him and the guy who I always forget his name. He was House's best friend in the show. He was the oncologist, and he
Oh
was also
yeah.
in
oh,
like Dead Poet Society.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, yeah. So he was that dude was like real nice. Like he was in it, and they just dressed like it was like British drape shape. Even though if you look at it as an adult with any like understanding of vintage, you're like, oh no, that's not actually British,
Right.
you know. But it was cool to see, and like I watched it with my grandparents, and I told my grandfather I wanted to dress that way, and he kind of laughed at me.
Right.
And by kind of, I mean he laughed hard.
Right. Right.
But he took me to the Bryn Mawr Hospital charity shop, and like that's where I got my first like pieces.
And
You know,
around what age was this?
like 13, 14.
Okay.
So
Was there stuff you were looking for then? I mean, you had your eye
no,
out for like jackets, or like
no. I
you were
just
just
was
looking
like,
for whatever.
yeah, it was just kind of whatever. Like I don't know, man. I grew up on like that remake of the Untouchables TV show
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that
yeah.
was on like in the late 80s, early 90s, and like so like double-breasted suits were cool to me, and like because that was the swing revival with all the Gen Xers, like the older
Oh
Gen
yeah.
Xers. So like that's what was kind of in media that I remember.
Yeah,
So like just stuff like that was cool, and like I'd go to these thrift shops or whatever when I could because I wasn't driving, you know, and if I could ride my bike to one, it was cool. But like there wasn't a lot around for me, so I like my parents would take me or my grandparents would take me, and like it was just I'd find something it wouldn't fit, but it was like $1. So I'm
Right.
yeah,
like, sure, you know, and I go to yard
yeah.
sales
No,
in the neighborhood.
and that's exactly it. So it's like and I think that that's not uncommon, right? Like people
Mm.
are their parents take them to the thrift store, their grandparents take
Yeah,
them to the thrift store.
Yeah.
That's like your
yeah,
that's how you get there as a kid, right?
I
yeah.
mean, I still shop at the first store I remember going to when I was like 14 years old. And I found a pair of like 70s plaid pants because I was, little
Punk
small town
rocker.
punk rock douchebag.
Yep.
And like I thrifted like a Stuart Tartan sport coat when I was in high school, shit
Oh
like that.
yeah. Yeah.
So
The fact that your first one is still around is amazing.
yeah, it's like a small Christian chain.
Okay.
I think they have like 6 stores now, but
Ooh.
yeah, like I mean, they're fine, but they're kind of they're the best in the like Northwest Georgia area. So
Got you. All right.
yeah, and I think like also coming from a punk or underground music background, I think you're kind of predisposed to being like into looks and things like that too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's always that like I hate it, but the SLC punk line, you dress like a punk. You're wearing a uniform.
Right, right.
Mhm.
But like when we came up, like you had uniforms depending on what social clique where you were fitting in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
Like, and that's what life was back then. So
Yeah,
I remember a lot of us, like, you kind of fall in with a crew and you dress like that crew, and that's just what it was.
right,
hmm
right. I'm endlessly thankful that my parents did not let me have the massive jinkos that I wanted when I was in like 7th grade.
mm.
Yeah, yeah, I had them at like ninth grade, but it's only because I think I stole my first pair. So,
Nice. Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, we also shopped at J.C. Penney, so Lee pipes
yeah,
were the thing, and
yep,
like looking back on it, they're basically the same kind of fit that I still wear and like prefer today. Like just basically, not huge, but enough room, like a stovepipe kind of vibe.
yeah. Well, I remember like back when I started getting into that kind of look, I got into drugs, so I started going to raves because they had fun drugs.
Mm.
Um, so we'd go and like I remember going thrifting. There was a dude Sean that was in high school, and like we went to the thrift store and bought all these Ralph Lauren Oxford cotton button downs and like all the plaids and all the stripes, and they were all USA made because they're all thrifted back then.
Right.
But we just buy the biggest ones we could find.
Yeah,
And
totally,
and
totally.
we'd buy like M65s because everybody had Jenkos on, but we'd buy M65s like 6 sizes too big and then
Right.
just belt the shit out of them.
Mm.
and that's what we wore. And unless you were like selling drugs or came from a good family or were constantly stealing, like that's how you got clothes to fit in when I remember as a kid.
Yeah, totally, totally.
So,
I played paintball in high school, and would go to a surplus store that was like
yeah,
20 minutes away and buy woodland camouflage. Like
yeah,
if I could take a time machine back, I would go buy every single piece of fucking olive drab that they had in stock because it was floor to ceiling.
yeah. And it was 50 cents a pair.
Yeah, yeah, it was cheap as shit. Nobody cared. I can only I didn't know what tiger stripe or fucking frog skin was back then, but like I can
I
only
mean,
imagine that there was probably some of that in there too.
dude, back when we were kids, like nobody cared about fucking CCC denim and like army
Right.
denim. Like nobody cared.
Yep.
Like the Japanese market, from what I've read and talking to old heads, have understood. Like they only cared about Levi's. They've
Yeah.
only ever cared about Levi's, and it's only within like the last 10 years or so
Right.
that they've started just finding like whatever they could to
Yeah.
like fill that gap. So.
Oh. Yeah, one of my biggest regrets, I left a CCC A1 at this like spot that used to be like an unclaimed baggage spot. It was $20. I just moved back from New York. I was broke as shit, and it had had some damage, obviously, to the cuffs and things. And I was like, yeah, I can't really afford this. And then, I still think about it 10 years on.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was like 10 plus years ago, back when you could find a decent one for $30.
Right, exactly.
Like back then, $20 was a lot to pay for something that was fucked up.
Yeah, especially when I could go to a thrift store and buy a bunch of shit for a buck or two. Like the first shawl collar U.S. Navy jacket I found was half off at Goodwill.
God, I miss those days.
Yeah, you and me both. Now we are the old heads complaining.
Well, but I think a lot of the time it's like when they're bitching about it, they're really kind of embellishing. Or it's up and down, it's uphill both ways, this kind of shit. What we're talking about is like almost provable.
Right, yeah, it's true.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely like what we deal in is a finite commodity. That's vintage. So when you deal in something that's not going to last, and they only made so many of them, it's not like we're even like geologists where you can go just study the land and maybe we'll find more oil. Like, no. It's a provable fact. They only made a certain amount of these. It might have been millions.
Right.
But they only made a certain amount.
And how many of those millions are even still in rotation somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, how many... dude, I think often, like, if there was some way to, like, pick up shit in a landfill, like, how much just incredible stuff got thrown away and just buried in a mound of dirt somewhere.
Definitely. I mean, like, well, out here it'd be rotting away. There's nothing salvageable, but you could probably find some decent buttons,
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't like to be like, oh, it was so much better back then. It was different. Like my focus is on what it is now, and now I know that with the passage of time, like, yeah, I should have done stuff differently, or I could have afforded to pay more. But at the time, with inflation the way it is, and all, well, whether it's manufactured or actually real, it's like you got to look at what you were spending your money on, and like,
yeah, totally.
If I can buy fucking 6 suits in the middle of the Mad Men era that are going to go right out the door, and I don't have to dry clean them for the same price that I could get like 3 pairs of denim, like I'm going to pick the suits.
Yeah, totally.
All day. And that's what we did, because the suits at the time for me and what we started at were way more valuable.
Right.
I wish I had $1 million back then to just stockpile everything, but like who knew what the fuck things were going to be?
Yeah, I mean, even a decade ago, like who knew?
Yeah.
It's like the pandemic definitely, I think, like accelerated changes, but
it did. It really did, and like I don't know, I think to some extent the influx of new people has not necessarily even it's saturated the market, but it's created like some of a sense of false scarcity
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because like you'll see somebody with like an OG 107 top, like just a shirt, regular old green shirt from like the
Right.
70s, not even an early one,
right.
and they're like $100, and I'm like, for what? They're
Yeah, seriously.
$2 all day. Nobody wants these. What are you talking about? And it's not like it's something with like fruit salad and medals and, the CIB badges and all that other stuff that the
Right,
military collector guy is going to want. It's just a plain green shirt with the
Right.
U.S. Army and a name tape.
right, right.
And
Yeah,
so like those kids just buy anything they see until they learn, like all of us. But
totally.
like stuff is going away, but I mean, like OGs have seemingly become hard to find.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time that I saw one in an actual thrift store. Like, I'll pick them up at yard sales or
Yeah,
flea markets and stuff. But, like, that used to be something I would find 5 pairs of pants or, 5 shirts or something a week just going to
yeah,
thrift.
yeah, and like it is getting harder to find. But like when we were coming up, I think we have this kind of rose-colored tinted glass idea that like, oh yeah, we could do the same thing with like frog skins and HBT, like,
Right, right,
and double stitch chinos from World War II. And it's like, if I really am honest with myself, yeah, I'd find maybe one every other week or every 2 weeks. Like they were there, but they were scarce. Now I think OGs are a little bit more scarce just because the amount of people doing it.
yeah, yeah,
But I do follow a lot of these kids on the socials, and they are finding the stuff in thrift stores
right,
still. So, I know it's still out there. It's just I'm no longer hitting those stores as hard as they are
right,
because
right.
I have other priorities and other obligations that I can't. Plus, like, fuck, dude, I'd rather pay you, $40 and sell them in my store for 80 than have to go sit in a thrift store all day and like
Right,
wait for
or go to the
bins
fucking
rotation.
bins.
Yeah, like,
Like, yeah, I,
I
I, I don't
What
really.
I find a lot of that is most offensive to me is it's like everything is from Target and Kohl's,
yeah, yeah,
which is like not, and they're selling it above retail. So
Right,
like the tags are still on this shit.
yeah.
yeah,
Even some of my small independents price like basic ass Levi's for $15-$20 at this point. I'm like, can't fucking do it, man.
yeah.
Especially
Well,
not, they're not even like made in USA ones. They're like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
modern ones, and I'm like, really, guys? Like these, if someone wants to pay a decent amount of money, they're gonna go to fucking Kohl's or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I mean, as far as like a brand new pair of Levi's go, like I don't see the attraction, but
Yeah,
Right.
it's a brand and it's got the branding and the heritage and blah blah blah. But like, why would you go to a thrift store for something that's abundant and like who's charging? Like, I don't know who their end customer is. That's my problem. I
yeah,
can't
I
see
don't
their end
either.
customer, so I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I feel that way a lot about a lot of vintage these days. Like everybody wants stuff. Like I don't know. I was looking at like a '60s Oshkosh jacket on eBay the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 250, 350, some shit like that. And I was like, aren't these like $75 jackets at best?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, seriously, and
But
like,
it's also like because I'm remembering when they were $75 jackets when they were dead stock at best.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
so I don't know. I do have a hard time getting my head around the new numbers sometimes because I think that things aren't necessarily as rare as people make them out to be,
totally, totally,
and it's like kind of that forced scarcity because everybody's got them. Like all these new kids have this stuff,
right.
but they're all like, "Oh, it's rare," and I'm like, "Rare is something I've only ever seen in a magazine.
Yeah,
Like
Right.
that's rare.
yeah,
That's
totally,
rare.
totally.
I
Like,
rare is something that none of my friends have ever had. If I've had it at one point, it's not fucking rare.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. If I've had multiples of them, it's
Yeah,
definitely not fucking rare.
yeah. And like, go thrift in Japan, man. I guarantee you'll buy a bunch of it back. Like,
Right, right. I mean,
you know,
honestly, the more I try to wrap my head around like how the Japanese vintage market functions, the less I understand it.
Oh, I don't understand the Japanese vintage market at all, and I've given up trying.
Yeah,
I've
it's
given up because I'm
yeah,
like, who's the end buyer? Who's buying this chore coat for $25,000?
Right.
Who?
yeah,
You know. So it's like, and it's like, okay, it's a 30s short coat and it's got the chin strap, but it's like 30 fucking grand. What are you talking
right, yeah.
about? Like,
It's something that I will never understand. And then like, I know that the the condition is such a thing, and so if something's like,
mm,
I feel like the West, America, UK, France, or whatever,
yeah,
we enjoy the like worn in, has kind of a story to tell kind of thing. But like,
yeah,
the shit that I would love personally is probably way cheaper than the dead stock $30,000 30s jacket. Like it's basically bottom of the barrel. So
yeah. Well, when I got into this, dead stock was the best stock, right?
right,
Um, and ripped and shredded shit that you would repair by yourself was the thing that you kept because nobody else would buy it, and you would wear it. And
right,
eventually, I think, like, I've seen some bigger name Japanese, vintage stores starting to, like, they go to the Distress Fest thing and they pick up shit. Like, they'll pick up, like, super rare items, right? Like, oh, it's stifle, it's a chin strap, it's got the vent holes, it is missing the entire right arm,
right,
but
right.
it's because it checks all these other boxes.
Yeah,
And like for them, it's probably a design piece or something that somebody will like frame and glass and put on their wall. And like, I get that portion of it. I don't get selling a '60s sweatshirt for $400 because it's got two holes in, like
yeah,
and stains.
yeah,
Like that, I don't understand. I bet when that's the only thing left to find is the bottom of the barrel. That's what there is to find,
right,
And so like, but with all this competition and all these kids, and I think that some of it comes from people going into the abandos, whether it's a permitted pick or not. They're going into these places. They're getting the stuff for next to nothing. Like there's their time and their labor.
right,
I'm not
right,
discounting that. But if you're getting something and then selling it for fucking a couple grand, you have the ability to then buy the other pieces that you do want.
right. Yeah, it's true.
And you might be inflate, like you're paying somebody's asking on something that before the pandemic would have been like, $100 over or $200 over what they really should be getting or they
Right,
would really take, and you're just paying it. That automatically inflates the price on everything else.
true.
So I
Yeah,
don't know, man. We could talk about this for the next 10 hours.
I
None of us
know.
would come to a conclusion.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So you mentioned repairs. And
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah. Perfect lead into the next question. I know just from following you and knowing you that you put a lot of time and effort and do repairs on a lot of things. I mean, did you have someone that taught you how to sew, or is it just kind of a necessity type thing where you were like, fuck, I gotta get on this?
Well, like I used to have people that I would pay to do repairs. And then like I was like, I can't afford to pay you guys that much anymore. And it's
Yeah.
not for nothing, like I'd like to not have to do them, but it is a lot out of necessity. Was just that I would have to I need to fix this. And I was taught that you don't talk about your repairs, right? And like I kind of broke that rule for myself when
Right. Right.
when I got into this. Is like, no, I wanted to document my own progress and I'd share it with people. I don't give a fuck.
No, dude.
Like,
Yeah.
It's a skill. It's an
What
art.
is
well,
I'm sorry, wait. What is the reasoning behind not sharing them?
okay, so you wanted them to believe it was original repair and you didn't do it. Therefore, it would hold
Oh, I
value.
got it.
So
I
it's
got
like
it.
so yeah, it's basically like pulling the wool over somebody's eyes. Like
Yeah.
that's so fucked.
I
I
mean,
didn't know this, but that's wild.
yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't everybody. Like some people would cop to it, and some people wouldn't. Some people
Right.
would just never mention anything, and be like, "Yeah, it's got a
Mhm.
repair there." Like they
Who
wouldn't say
knows?
they did it or not. It's like
Right.
it was. They would let you judge on the strength of the repair.
Right.
Like
Right.
is it good enough? I got into it, and my first repairs were fucking awful. Like they were, but like anything else, like I didn't have the muscle memory, I didn't have the training, I didn't have any understanding of what I was really doing. I
Mhm.
didn't. Nobody taught me all the best techniques to do anything, so I just was like, yeah, oh, all I have to do is sew this to this, and it's fine, cool. And then I was like, oh no, it's not. No, looks awful.
Yeah.
Compared to him. So what do you? And I look at somebody else's repairs and be like, hey, not for nothing, but like I'm curious, like what's your process? Like what do you do? And I've had some like older people I used to buy off of who did repairs. They gave me some tips. My friend Jonathan and his wife Josefa, she taught me a lot about like how to do stuff and stuff that she learned from her family and her grandmother and everything.
Mhm.
Sick.
So she taught me a lot. Like we were doing this make do and mend thing before the pandemic,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that.
like yeah, so she came up and like taught a little class for a couple hours on like how she would do it and like how to get your stitches so nobody sees them, how and like how to edge things properly. So it was really informative. Her biggest two tricks to me were first put a board behind it, like
Ah.
between the top of the piece you're going to repair and the piece you're repairing with, so it doesn't go all the way into the bottom of the cloth that you're going to be repairing, and you like
Right.
end up with a knee all sewn together. And use a fucking iron as much as you need to. Like as you stitch, if you pull too much, it's going to pucker. So like just put the iron on steam and just and then
Yeah.
let it cool down a second, and then keep stitching. One of the tricks that I do myself, because I'm horrible at judging distance with the needle when I'm stitching, is I take a marker, like a fine point Sharpie, and just mark two spots on my thumb, so I can try to get the distance even.
Oh, that's a
You know,
That's a
good
great
tip.
tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But
That's
it's
funny
just
as shit. Because it's all this
oh,
information. I mean, people have taught me to sew very limitedly. And
yeah,
like the stuff that I was doing at the beginning by myself with no like research or anything, it's like it was done by an alien. Like, why
yeah,
did it happen in this
Yeah, yeah.
manner? There's no
yeah.
justification for it. But
Your knots are like the stupidest, ugliest things ever made. You don't know how to make a
yeah,
knot
my
Dude,
God.
disappear,
I like
and yeah,
I have maybe the world's worst for a clothing person sewing abilities. It as much as I've tried over the years, like my mind just doesn't work that way. So I respect any
all right,
fucking person that can like pick up a needle and thread or use a machine. And
yeah,
everything I've ever sewn has the most uneven stitching humanly possible, and yeah,
yeah.
that
But
it looks like an alien.
at the
My
same
friend,
time, that can be beneficial
Yeah,
because it can
right?
look more like an original repair by some farmhand guy did it just to get his
yeah,
jeans back
totally,
together. You
totally.
know,
Yeah, but it also takes
so
me like it takes me like 20 minutes to sew a button on, just because that's I don't know that's not in
That's
my
how long it takes, though. I mean, in the
yeah,
beginning, I think that's how long it
yeah
takes.
yeah. I mean maybe if I worked at it, but I've just resigned myself to thinking that I'm probably never going to learn how to actually sew.
I really want to learn. I mean, I sewed that patch on my hat, and it's like, it looks like it was done by a child.
mm-hmm.
To my knowledge, none of my students have commented on its childish nature, but if you looked at it, you would see this is the work of a child.
Right.
Yeah, they probably like, yo, that's a vibe. I don't know, whatever the kids say now,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
but it's like, I mean, I kept wanting to get better. Like and I watch stuff, and I watch, like you see like Blue Champions work. Kaneketo, she does amazing stuff, but she doesn't tell you how she does it,
Right,
which
right.
is like kind of frustrating for me. But at the same time, like, look, you're charging what you're charging because you keep the secret sauce secret.
Yeah, yeah.
Have
Um,
you seen any like people who are like Victorian enthusiasts and the type of sewing that they do? Their stitches are like 1 millimeter.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like pin set tailoring, like all his stuff. Like he does Regency's era stuff. Him, the clothing board. There's a couple other people. that just do amazing hand tailoring. Like I got a buddy who's at the old barracks in Trenton, and he's doing cobbling and sewing his shit together, and he's also making tables. Like he's
Huh.
that kind of guy, and I'm like,
An artiste.
yeah, it's very. I think they what he would have been called a mechanic back in the Revolutionary period.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it's that dude. Like it's just this jack of all trades kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that is someone we're gonna have to have you connect us with because
yeah,
Yeah,
sounds like a
for
great
sure.
guest.
For
yeah,
sure.
I definitely. His name's David too. He's a really nice guy, dude. But
Ah, of course.
yeah, but
Do you have a
like
thing with Davids? Do you have a thing with other Davids? Because I have known people with common names like David or Michael, for example. They have
yeah,
a, I don't know. It's like,
eh, I don't give a shit. Like it's by like the luck of the draw that I was born where I was born and got the name I got. Like
yeah.
I was
Well, it's
almost
funny
yeah, but I was
that
almost
you're
called
referring a person named David.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
I
I feel
Like
like
Matt knows a million Matts.
I feel like
yeah
if you're a white male presenting person
yeah
of a certain age, there like David, Michael, Matthew, uh,
Brian.
in
Brian yeah
yeah, like most
Sean
Sean, yeah, dude, I knew like 6 Seans growing up, like all
yeah
different spellings, but same shit,
mm-hmm
you know. But especially
yeah
like, you know, a lot of us get super fucking Anglo religious names.
yeah. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. Like if you grow up in like any kind of old school Judeo Christian environment, like you get the names of saints.
Yep.
You know, especially like the
Sure.
Anglo tradition, the Roman tradition, like you get those names, and that's just what it is.
Well, like you're
Um,
not ever Dave, right?
oh, I'm Dave. The stepkids call me Davey all the time.
Davy's
Like,
great, actually.
Davey is great. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't bring up any childhood trauma about being, sung the Davy Crockett song over and over and over on the bus every
What
day.
is it? What is the Davy Crockett song?
You never heard that? It's
Wait,
the old
No, my
television
name
show.
isn't David.
Yeah, but it's like Davy Crockett, King of
King
the
of the Wild
Bottom.
Oh
Frontier.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's so fucking funny.
yeah. That was like every bus ride to school for like all of third grade. Like it was miserable, dude.
Yeah,
But
sorry to bring up the trauma, my friend.
nah, it's fine. But like I just go by David at work. I don't know. Like when I was wearing suits every day when we first opened Briar, and I was wearing a tie, I felt like David was much more, presentable, especially for like the folks with money who came in.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Because like, so I'm this dude with a lot of tattoos, a lot of visible tattoos on my neck, my knuckles, you know. So me being in a suit and tie, just that juxtaposition already is a
Right,
lot for
right.
like
It
old
can be
school
alarming.
folks. Yeah, it's a lot for old school folks to come in and like take in for the first time,
sure.
especially if they come from a certain tax bracket. But they would come in and be like, "How's it going? How do you do, sir? Welcome to Briar Vintage. My name is David."
Yeah,
And
Right.
like
yeah.
I over enunciate things that I don't
It's an ethos
obviously,
kind of
but
thing.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
very much like kind of a code switch, I guess. I don't know. Like I was pretending I wasn't as fucking poor and uneducated as I am.
Oh yeah.
But
No, I know about it.
you know, so that I started going by David at work, and that's how I just started referring to myself. And but people who've known me since before Briar, I'm always going to be Dave. Some people still call me Irish. Because
Irish.
I used to listen. It's so long. I used to listen to like a lot of Irish rebel music,
Oh,
and
fuck
like,
yeah.
yeah. So it was a lot of that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so I have like I'll see random people I haven't seen in like 20 some years, and they'll be like, "Yo, Irish," and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, yeah.
A
I,
person of
So
many
I
names.
have a few
yeah,
friends that call me Maddie and have for years, and like
yeah,
I've tried to make that happen, but something I've realized is like it's not easy to get people to change what they call you. So
no,
I've
not at
been
all.
Matt for 30 fucking years at this point. I couple of
Hmm.
couple of friends call me Matthew here and there, but
Yeah. Oh, I got a buddy, Rick. I still call him Ricky every time I talk to him.
Oh yeah, totally,
You
totally.
know, that's who he was in fucking 10th grade of high school. So that's what
Right,
I call him.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, but he's like a professional tattoo artist, travels the world, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, Ricky, all right, calm down. You know, like
Right, right.
very
Uh,
much like not letting each other get above the station. You know, like
yeah,
not forgetting
yeah.
where we came from. So
Absolutely. That's important.
yeah, I think so. But you know, oh
So, as someone that has essentially been a Philadelphian your entire fucking life, does Philly
mm,
have a style? Like, if
yeah,
there's okay, what is the Philly style?
jerseys,
Jerseys.
jerseys,
Okay.
bro. Listen,
That's so funny, dude. I just did not expect it. I didn't expect an answer at all. I was nervous to ask even.
no, fucking jerseys, bro. Like, listen, we don't have much. Our greatest fictional hero is a boxer. Okay, like
Yeah.
Philly.
who Sylvester
Yeah,
Stallone, unless I'm mistaken, is not even from fucking Philadelphia.
no, he's from Jersey.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but you know, he reps South Philly hard enough. You know, it's like everybody thinking that Rizzo was a great mayor. It's just like one of those things that just sticks in the city's, you know,
right, right.
collective memory, and they either believe it or they don't. But
Yeah,
Philly is very much like it's a working class town. Always has been.
right.
You know, with the death of the Philly mob, who were like the last progenitors of like any kind of sense of style, because like
Mhm.
in the 80s and 90s, you start seeing the two-piece velours and the tracksuits, you know, and
Yeah.
that became a real thing with like, you know, some of the later mobsters. Like it might have been a little bit more hip and up to date, but they were still dressed down. So like after like I don't know, Scarfo went away, like, and all of our grandparents stopped dressing for anything other than their doctor's appointments. Like it just didn't carry down,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
like we have great food in Philadelphia. We have a great music scene.
Yep.
We do have a really lovely art scene, like
Yeah.
tons of art and just awesome stuff going on. Uh, but we have sports. You
Right.
know, to get us out of our day to day and the poverty rate and everything else, we have sports to focus on, and we have some great sports teams. So people, you know, they rock, and like, there's nothing like even New Yorkers can't be as New York as Philadelphians are Philadelphian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know, we rock sports teams because we live or die by them.
Right.
It's not the arts and the culture that it comes along with the city, and we like the Yankees or whatever, like New York has. We have this. Most Philadelphians have the sports teams, the Eagles or the Phils or whatever. And I said Eagles on purpose.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
but that's what we got, and that's what you see most people wearing. It's comfortable. It's easy to wash. You spill a drink on it, it's fine. Like there are a lot of really well dressed people here who, you know, they can turn an outfit out like nobody's business. You know, but the majority of Philadelphians dress down, dude. Like
Right.
laid
Yeah.
back, dress down, ready for the game, ready for anything to pop off at any moment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
All
know, like
all my Philly friends, doesn't matter like what they're into subculture wise, are
yeah,
fucking Phils and Eagles fans.
yeah.
Maybe a little
I
less so
mean,
the Flyers, but I also like
yeah,
I don't know. I don't pay as much attention to hockey as I once did.
yeah. I mean, Flyers fans are a special group because I don't know, they haven't done shit since the Bullies in like '79 and '80.
Right,
So
right.
like,
Well, you
you
also had
know,
the Lindros era in the '90s.
yeah,
So.
we did, but we didn't really do a lot with it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, like
true.
we didn't build a
He was
franchise or
hyped up
anything.
as fuck, but
Yeah. So like, I remember being into hockey around Lindros because I was just like at that age where I could get my first real jersey that my parents got me for Christmas. You know,
yeah,
and like playing with the Milek hockey pads in the street with my friends and like
right, right. Yeah, it
beating
was a
on each other
very,
with,
very like Gen X or not Gen X, like
yeah,
'80s '90s kid thing to be into street
yeah,
hockey. We had the
but it
Mighty
was,
Ducks for God's sakes. But
yeah, we did. And but it's also like a very suburban white boy thing to be into hockey,
true, true.
you know. So like you could play street hockey all day long and it was just easy. So you know, the Flyers don't get as much of a love as I think that the rest of the sports teams do here. But but at least there's more Union supporters now.
Yeah, yeah,
Even though that's in Chester, like there's a lot of people who support the Philadelphia Union, and they like watching soccer now, and it's like acceptable and cool, and it's kind of like making a slow but sure like breakout within the population. Because
100%.
every year I do
Yeah,
see like a lot more people wearing
we've
that stuff.
same with Atlanta United here. Like,
Yeah,
they're since their inception, it's maybe the like I don't know. Atlanta's pretty fair weather with our fans for
yeah,
the most part, but like United does not do that at all. It's like you're all about it all the time.
They have the same
yeah.
name as the DC team. Is that odd? DC United? That's the
Yeah.
DC soccer team?
Fuck if I know. I
I'm
don't really
telling you.
I don't follow MLS, but
I don't
yeah,
follow it at
Yeah.
all either, but it's curious that they would both have the same name.
yeah. It kind of
I
makes
mean,
it makes more sense in DC, but
I know,
yeah.
I
hey,
know.
but
That's why I'm
hey,
surprised to hear this.
one
Yeah.
one thing that really makes me happy about Atlanta United is that it got the city to change Confederate Avenue to fucking United Avenue. So
There you go.
small win,
Woo!
small win.
Yeah, small victories where we can. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Philly for what it is, but like, it's never been even for the way our garment industry used to be and like how people used to dress. Like from what I've seen in old photos, like, it was always a working class town first, more than
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
else. So as much as the Philadelphia story would have you believe that there was a whole bunch of Cary Grants and running around, it was more Jimmy Stewart's with like their off the rack jacket, and
Right,
Mhm.
right.
and that's just what it was. So
Less Cary Grant, more Jimmy Stewart might be one of the
yeah,
best things that's ever been said on this program.
Did you write it down? Did you write it down?
I'm
yeah.
about to. I'm about to.
Hell
Yes.
yeah. Well, so you talked about the art scene. I'm curious about your feelings about the Barnes Foundation. If you've been there before,
I went to the old one and I went to the new one,
is
and
there an old one? I don't know about the old one
there
because,
you
like,
there.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there used to be like the original Barnes was in like a fucking neighborhood on the main line, and you'd like go past all these rich people's houses to get to it, and you had to
That kind
park
of
on
makes
this like
sense.
side street to get to
Yeah,
it, and all the other rich people on that street did not like that so much when the poors came out to their neighborhood.
Right, right.
Um,
because that was his
so
thing, right? Was that he wanted it available to everyone. He wanted the collection available to everyone.
yeah, but he also believed in like how to like stack paintings and photographs, like how to put a lot in one spot and
Right.
a certain way of displaying everything. Um, I don't really like. I don't know. There's always a controversy with something in Philly, like the whole Mutter thing just happened. Mutter, whatever you want to call it,
Uh
Mutter
huh.
Museum thing just happened. They had a chief operating officer or whatever the hell she was, board of directors person, and she apparently pissed everybody off and was like giving stuff away to somebody. I feel like the Barnes is the same thing. Like they took it out of the main line. Like it was a prestigious thing for the fucking main line, but at the same time, nobody liked all the fucking poor people coming to see it.
Right.
So like, take your pick. You either want people to see it or you don't. And if you don't want people to see it, then put it downtown.
Right.
And put it downtown where like you don't have to see everybody parking and you don't care. People can take public transit to get to it. And there it is. Like I remember the original Barnes was hard to get to, I think, on public transit. At
Huh.
least not I wouldn't say hard to get to, it just wasn't like a straight shot and getting off the L. Like you had to take a regional line and all that shit. So,
Yeah, more annoying than hard.
yeah, it was just convoluted. So like now it's downtown. It's not that far from the art museum. It's fine. It's a nice building, the new space.
It's an amazing building. Yeah, I'm a big
Yeah,
fan. I thought it was like remarkable. I've been 2 times, I think.
yeah.
Which,
It's
whatever. I mean, it's like surrealist. It's like impressionist paintings. So,
yeah. I like not really my thing. I like more like futurism,
mhm,
modernism, like American stuff, like 30s, 20s, 40s.
sure.
Like in that vein. like more realist stuff. That's just more my thing. But
Yeah,
it's a great spot. It's a fun day out. I think experiencing the arts is like something everybody should do. I've been a couple times myself. Um, I think that Philadelphia, like, there's all these like there's smaller museums around too that like they're not huge collections, but they're just nice to go to. You know, it's
sure.
not all fucking guys in cutaway court coats and fucking stocking with breeches and all that other shit and like quills. Like we have other museums around here that are great and aren't just about the revolution. So
Yeah,
I
the
think.
revolution is kind of a big thing for Philadelphia in
I
general.
mean, yeah, it's our fucking bread and butter, man. Like, but
And the love sign and the Rocky statue.
yeah, and the fucking steps.
Yeah, yeah.
And but it's like there's a lot to do here, which is why I like it. It's definitely it's a small town big city is
Yeah,
how I
yeah.
like to think of Philly.
I've been there and played there and gone to
Hmm.
gone to shows there a ton. It to me is very underrated.
Well, I'm not going to say that. Tell everybody it's overrated because I need the rents to stop going
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
But
for sure,
Right.
for sure.
you
Yeah,
know,
okay. I'll put it this way: it's how I wish Atlanta still felt because
all right,
Atlanta has definitely gentrified a lot, and it's become kind of a tech hub. But like back in the day,
yeah,
it felt like I would go to Philly and be psyched because
yeah,
it's pretty fucking walkable, which Atlanta is
yeah.
not at all. But
Mm.
B, it also kind of had the like old school feel still.
Yeah, I mean, there's a store here, and they produced. I missed the old Philadelphia T-shirts,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
OLDE, and it's like everybody does. Not everybody likes the gentrification. Like, yes, it's making. They're putting improvement projects. Like they have this Schuylkill River Trail, and they have this nice new bridge that crosses over below South Street, like into like near Penn and all that. And it's like
right.
real cool. And this trail actually, if you follow it on a map, goes like hundreds of miles. But it's like that stuff's cool, and like they're making sure they take care of the art museum now, like the back, waterworks and all that shit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Because like we used to go to like after parties at the art museum, and like it was a shit show, dude. I loved it there. It was
right,
great.
right.
Nobody bothered you. The cops never cared. It was just you'd sit there and smoke weed all night. It was fun. But now it's like everything's nice, but at the same time, as stuff gets nice, it's just you lose parts of like the kind of the gritty and griminess. Like Philly will always be grimy, just because we will. I don't think Philadelphians themselves will allow everybody to ignore how grimy we are,
Right,
and
right.
like we won't let the transplants like take that away from us. But at the same time, like and we're not afraid to tell you to go home.
No, no,
Like we're just like, dude, oh, you're from Scranton, and it's so dangerous because you don't know how to act in any major American city by keeping your head up
dude.
and looking around.
Seriously.
Then of course you're gonna get fucking mugged. Like go home then. If you don't want to try to implement any form of common sense, then get the fuck out.
Yeah, it like
You know?
there is a difference between knowing like how to interact and live in a fucking city versus the suburbs.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I've seen this here. I've seen this when I lived in New York.
Yeah,
Like I've seen it traveling around in Philly, Chicago, etc. Like
yeah,
if you've spent time and lived in a city, you know how to fucking get around. Like
yeah.
you know what to do, what not to do. When I first moved to New York, a friend told me he was like, "Walk like you got a purpose," and I took that to heart. And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
I do this anyway." Like,
yeah. Yeah, walk like you know where you're fucking going, and if
yeah,
you don't, find a nice little spot like a bodega to go pop in and look at a map.
yeah,
Like you
totally.
don't fucking do that shit outside. You keep your head up, you keep your fucking mind, your business, your eyes to yourself, and like keep walking.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just, it's not hard, dude. It's really not hard to get
No,
along
not
in
at
a major American
all.
city.
No, like you just gotta you just have to know how to be a human being. Like that's
Yeah,
a pretty low fucking bar.
Yeah, but like, I mean, we have a bad rap for being violent, and like, I mean, we like it's always a joke. Like, yeah, we tear apart the city whether we win or lose, and
Right.
like,
Or
you
you
know,
you beat the shit out of the hitchhiking robot, which lives
yeah,
in my mind rent free.
Mm.
yeah, or we throw bottles and snowballs at Santa and like batteries and whatever.
Right. That's kind of
Like,
part of the charm though. Like, come on,
yeah,
man.
but it's also like there's a reason for all that shit to happen. Um, and like even the robot, like as dumb as it was just some drunk asshole.
Right.
But it's also just like, dude, like if you're gonna act like an idiot and send something that's unprotected to a major American city, we're gonna prove to you that major American cities aren't to be trusted. Like you
Right.
just can't.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
and it's like we have a chip on our shoulder being like New York being like they're our big brother, like I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Boston more so, like especially with the Slapshot song New York sucks.
Ah,
But
yes, yes.
or fuck New York, that's what it's called. But
Yeah, I like the Slapshot reference.
yeah, but so we like we have a little bit of that. We're not New York. Like we get a lot of New Yorkers who come down and like, oh, you mean the city? Like New York's the only one in the world. Like Paris and London and
Right,
LA
right.
don't exist, and like Tokyo. But yes, the city. And they're like, yeah, all right, dude. So I think we take pride in like trying to cut people down to size here,
Oh
and
yeah, that's a great quote.
yeah. So it's just who we are. But like we're also like begrudging assholes. Like, oh, you need to shovel. The old lady needs to shovel out her car, and she obviously can't. And it's like, and you got somewhere to be, and you're just like, fuck, all right. And you go, and you tell her get the fuck out the way, and you just start shoveling out her car out of the
Right,
snow,
right.
and it's just
Yeah,
what you do.
yeah. I feel
You
like
know?
in certain respects, because I've spent a good bit of time in Boston too. Like
Yeah,
that's a similarity between the two.
yeah. I think it's more of a working class mentality that we help each other out,
Yeah, yeah.
but we like, fuck you for making me late for and having to pull out my shit. You know, like that's kind of where we are
Yeah, yeah.
as a culture in the city. And I think Boston, I think Chicago's got some of that.
Yeah, Chicago. Like honestly, those are Philly, Chicago, and Boston are three of my favorite places that I've spent significant time in. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well, you've been doing vintage a while. I'm gonna combine this into three these three questions into one.
okay.
First off, rare find that you've had, favorite find, and if you've got a white whale.
Um that's hard.
You
Rare
can
find?
also it doesn't have to be strictly like one thing. You can get
Yeah. I mean like I don't know if it's super rare, but to me it was kind of interesting. Like I once went to an auction and it was when we finally under FDR we recognized the Soviet Union as a country
right.
Right.
finally, and so I got the first ambassador of the Soviet Union stuff. Like that was cool.
That
Um,
is cool.
it was just kind of like to me, it was like a nice piece of history. Like having stuff that he wore to state dinners in Moscow, and maybe like I know he met Stalin wearing this fucking formal court coat
Yeah.
shit. And the juxtaposition between wearing formal morning dress with fucking J style, like
Right, right, yeah.
like the guy who dressed like he's supposed to be the everyman, your brother comrade.
Yeah.
I always thought that was funny. Uh, what was the other part? So there's the
rare and favorite,
favorite.
and white
My
whale.
favorite. I was out with. I was out west. I was in Seattle with a person I was dating at the time, and I walked in to another vintage store because that's what we do when we're away is we do our job.
Yeah, yeah.
So I walk into a vintage store and then she's looking at the women's section in the front room. I go into the back room where I saw some hats and some other stuff. And I spent like 2 seconds digging, and there's this green wool cap, older 40s, 50s baseball cap, and it's got some yellow I can see on the crown. And I went and I grabbed that, and it turned out to be U.S. Navy cap that was the same numbers as my father's destroyer.
Oh shit!
So that was probably my favorite find. They charged me $22 for the moth fuck eaten hat, and like something I never would have paid more than $1 for if I found it anywhere else.
Right, right.
But because it was my dad's destroyer, I fucking was like, "Yep, here, take my money," and my hand was shaking. Because it's the only time I've ever in the wild, I guess, wasn't expecting to find it.
That's cool.
And I found that white whale. I don't know, a nice 3-piece 4-button 1890s suit in that's not black. It's like an indigo check that fits my size 46 ass. Like that would be great. That would be my white whale that I'll never find.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because like all the shoulders on that thing, no matter how big the chest is, the shoulders are 16 inches.
It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. And like, yeah, like I have pretty broad shoulders for my build, and some of the like fits for vintage stuff. It's like, I need like a 42 shoulder and then like a 38 chest. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tried to standardize things as much as they could, but it was like, what was it? Like 18 was supposed to fit a 38 to an 18 shoulder fit a 38 to 40 chest.
Right, right.
19 was 42 to 44. Like they just
also
mass manufacturing
stuff back then was mostly one off. Like
yeah,
it wasn't until the like late teens, early 20s that like mass produced tailored clothing existed.
Yeah, something like that, and like it's just funny. Like either that or it was like one off in the fact that it was a sweatshop in some apartment in New York that was just doing sleeves.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah,
doing piecework. So, but yeah, that's my white whale. Like I don't know, man. I've kind of like gotten over like trying to find certain pieces that everybody likes. Like I don't know, man. I'd love to find like you had that fucking one Denali's jacket.
Yeah, yeah.
Years ago. And like I'd love to find one of those in a fucking pin check.
Right. Oh yeah.
But like I don't know. It's not like something I'm dying to find.
Yeah.
There's very little anymore that really like the stuff that I like these days is the more mundane. It's just hard to find.
Yeah, same.
Like that's the stuff that excites me. Like, salesman sample kind of stuff. Like I don't know. I got the All American bandana book from somebody recently other day actually. As a gift, like I was doing this buy, and the dude just brought it in. Shout out to Jassy, really nice guy. And so he just gave me the book, and I like the first page you see is like a photo of a U.S. Navy ship crew on a bandana, and like this nice indigo border, and it was like real fucking cool. And I was like, that's the kind of shit that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to something you said earlier. Like, I've never seen one of those. In general, I've never seen this book, but that sounds incredible. Like, that's something that's probably rarer than basically anything else that we could find and sell.
Yeah, like Brown's beaches are nice and all, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah, totally. Probably not down south because I've literally never seen one. But yeah.
I mean, you might have to come up here a little bit, but you can find them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I know many people that have found them at for a couple of bucks or $5 at a yard sale. So
but so yeah. Those are my three.
Good answers.
Yeah. Well, hell, man, this has been super fucking fun and very Philly centric, but I'm kind of into that. So
I mean, if you're from Philadelphia, you can't help talking about Philly.
Yeah.
Like,
obviously, it's informed a lot of who you are. So it's important.
Yeah, but spend enough time on the streets here, it's just who you are.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Thank you for coming on.
I really appreciate you guys having me, man.
Yeah, dude. Of
I'm
course.
sorry I couldn't get it done earlier.
No.
Health
But we
issue
got
stuff.
it
But
Hey,
done,
but
and we hope you are recovered.
it's the
yeah,
80th episode. It makes it more special.
Yeah,
no,
for real.
If we'd done it last week, it
So.
would have been the 79th episode. So
And who
Yeah.
wants that?
anyway, David, shout out your business and anyone else that you would like to shout out.
I mean, you can find us at Briar Vintage, BRIAR Vintage on socials, dude. Instagram's the main one. Just fucking check there. If you want to send me a message, send it there. If you want a discount, fucking send it there. It's much easier to check there than Etsy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great fucking people, dude, in this business. Like, just super nice, chill people.
Agreed.
Just fucking go through our follow list. Like, we follow some really nice people, dude. If you want other shops, and like, we follow a lot of people who don't necessarily do what we do, because like, I don't know, I'm not one of those guys who's like, I can only fucking follow shops that sell the same thing I do, or like on my level. I'm like, no, I'll follow your fucking 90s women's Y2K page. Like, I don't care.
Right.
It's something different. It keeps me fucking exhilarated, man. It keeps me wanting to do this more.
Absolutely.
And like, so I just say go through that, like, and we'll shout out people all the time, dude.
Yeah.
So like, if you're ever in Philly, just hit us up. We do an open house once a month, every third Saturday from 11 to 4. You can just stop by. So
hell yeah, and
that's it.
David, I've known a long time, and I can 100%. I can 100%, back everything that he does. He's a good dude and a good friend. Anyway,
I appreciate that.
Everybody, thank you for listening. We are at Apocalypse Duds on Instagram, apocalypseduds@gmail.com. If you would like to send us an email of any fucking thing at this point, I am Matt Smith at Rebels Rogues.
And I'm Connor Flower at Connor Flower.
And we will see you next week.
See ya.
All right, guys.